Looking at a Nissan Sentra 2012 engine size 2.0. This is a diagram of the complete exhaust system. I installed AP Eastern catalytic converter, and I'm just sharing some information with people who ever install the aftermarket. This is what you need. You need the hardware from Nissan, okay? You need the spring 20074 plus A. You need 4 of those springs. You need 2 for the front and 2 for the rear. The studs, you need 2 for the front, 20020A. You need 2 of the studs. The nuts, you need 4 of those. You need 2 for the rear and 2 for the front, 20020B. Okay? And this is the rear of the catalytic converter. You need 2 of those bolts, 20020AA. You need 2 of those bolts. Okay? The gasket comes with the exhaust manifold if you buy it from AP Eastern Exhaust. But if you want, you can buy it from Nissan. That's the part number there for the rear, 20695 plus A. And the front is 20695. Okay? This is the whole complete diagram for the exhaust system for Nissan Sentra. Alright? This is the nut. Okay? The spring sits up against that nut. Okay? This is the stud. This goes at the front. Okay? Make your life easy because this is the last section you're hooking up. And this is the spring. I did not use none of the hardware from AP Exhaust because it will not work. Okay, all I used was the gasket, the 2 gaskets that came with the catalytic converter. Right? And you always need one of these repair manual. I did some maintenance over the weekend and I replaced the oil cooler temperature sensor. Okay, if you never do one of those, it's very tricky. You gotta disconnect this cable from the alternator so you can get clearance and start with your hand. This uses a 19mm 6-point deep socket. Okay, so you unplug your connector, put your 19 deep socket in there, and take it off. Now you gotta get this oil cooler sensor from Nissan. It's like $18.99. You can pick up at your local Nissan store. Okay? Because aftermarket will not work. And when you put it in, you gotta get it right. It goes in like an angle. So you gotta get that angle and untighten it till you get that thread started. It's very tricky. Then once you get it started, you put your 19mm deep well socket 6-point and slowly turn. Slowly turn. Slowly turn. This sensor do not go up against the engine block. You will have a few threads left over. Once it start getting tight and you can't go no more, stop. Okay? Stop. And also I replaced the engine coolant sensor. Okay? That's what reads the temperature and brings your fan on and everything. Okay? I got this from AutoZone. Okay? I replaced that. Then I had a leak in the intake manifold was causing P0420 code. Okay, where the throttle bolts up against was cracked. So I use epoxy right here. I use epoxy. Okay, it's a temporary fix. Apparently Nissan don't sell this intake manifold anymore, so I got it from Rock Auto. SKP sells it. So once I get it in, I'm gonna replace the intake manifold. All right. So if you have a Nissan, I'm giving this information so you can know what to do and what to get. All right, I'm gonna go under the cars. This is the catalytic converter underneath here. You can see it. Okay. This is all Nissan hardware. The nut, the stud, and the spring. The stud, the nut, and the spring. Alright. I use AP catalytic converter for the front gasket. That's the only thing I use. It came with nuts and bolts and washer. I did not use it. Okay, because you do not get a tight seal. Alright. So you need to use Nissan. Alright. This is the front catalytic converter. And also I replaced the oil pressure switches right here. That's the oil pressure switch. I replaced that too. Maintenance. Okay. This is the rear catalytic converter. Okay. I use Nissan bolt, spring, and nut. Alright, this shoulder bolt butts up against this nut. Once you torque it down, then it stop. You stop. Same thing with the other side. That's what I say in the diagram. You need 2 springs, 2 bolts, 2 nuts for the rear. They use the same nuts and spring for the front too. Okay, so when you're ordering it, you need 4 springs and 2 nuts total. Alright. And like I say, I use NGE 642-800 catalytic converter, AP Eastern catalytic converter. You can buy it from Rock Auto. Okay, but I bought mine from 1-800 Radiator. Okay, because I like seeing what type of part I'm getting. Make sure I ain't got no damage or defect. And if you got damage and defect, I can say, hey man, I don't want it. Okay, but when you buy certain things from Rock Auto, you gotta be careful with the exhaust, man. You know, sometimes the exhaust come bent, either the pipe too small or too long, it won't fit. So I got mine from 1-800 Radiator. They have a warehouse in Manassas, Virginia. So I went and look at it, pay for it, and pick it up. Alright. So this is your rear catalytic converter. You got a heat shield on it. And also I replaced the O2 sensor. I replaced the upstream. This is your downstream here. And I replaced the upstream O2 sensor. I use Denso. Okay. I got it from Rock Auto. I got my Denso O2 sensors from Rock Auto, because this Nissan uses 2. 1 upstream and 1 downstream. Alright? And everything is fit tight. No leaks. Alright? You always want to check for leaks. Alright? You always want to check for leaks around the seam. Because if you got leaks, you will smell it in the front. And then you know something not made it properly. Okay? And when you're doing these flange, you're doing them evenly like a tile. Okay? Evenly. Okay? This is how you install catalytic converter for a Nissan Sentra. I also replaced the exhaust manifold. Okay? My exhaust manifold was under warranty, so I went and did an exchange and get a new one. Okay? It's made by Dorman, but AP Eastern Exhaust manufactured it, and Dorman put the name on it. Get it from AutoZone. Alright? So all the exhaust system you look on here is all from AP Eastern. Okay? It's a direct fit. It's quality. So anytime you replace your catalytic converter, you replace the O2 sensors. Alright? You replace them, whether it's 2, 3, 4, you replace them all at the same time. Alright? And you always want to make sure you do those flanges evenly. You want a nice and tight seal. Okay, same thing with your exhaust manifold. If you smell an exhaust, you know you got a leak up front or one of the joints. Okay, so those studs up there on the exhaust manifold, they use as an 8. Okay, they use the 8E socket. Okay, it's a star socket. You can get it from Home Depot. 8E socket on those studs. The nuts is 12 millimeter nuts. Okay, and the exhaust manifold. This support hanger here is 16 millimeter. Okay, you could use a 12 point on it or a 6 point. The nuts for the exhaust is all 14 millimeter. Okay, so what I use a 14 millimeter for the studs. You need a 6 point 1/4 inch. Okay, the stud. I use a 16 for the support hanger for the catalytic converter and the exhaust manifold. I use a 14 millimeter on the exhaust stud nut and the rear catalytic converter bolts. I use a 10 on the heat shield that attaches to the exhaust manifold. I do everything from the bottom. I put it on some ramps and I did everything from the bottom. And this is the E8 I'm talking about for the exhaust manifold stud. Okay? It's a star. Like a Hollywood star. Then I use 10 millimeter on the heat shield. Okay? Because some section of the heat shield you gotta go down. You know what I mean? Stretch your hand over and torque it down. Then I use adjustable head 3 ratchet on the exhaust manifold nuts, and I use a straight, and I use 3/8 extension, 3/8 extension, and use a 12 point deep, not a 12 point, 6 point. You need 6 point. All right, socket. This is all the stuff I use. Because I took this exhaust manifold apart before. Because I stripped over 2 port. And since it was on the warranty, I replaced it at the same time with the catalytic converter because it had a leak in it. So I went ahead and replaced it at the same time with the catalytic converter. Okay? This is quality work. Everything is sealed tight. No exhaust leak. Okay? And like I said, I use all Nissan hardware. I use the stud, the spring, and the nut. Okay? The aftermarket hardware is not going to work. But this exhaust manifold and catalytic converter exactly like the OEM. Okay? And like I said, when you put these bolts in here and the spring, the shoulder bolt butts up against this nut. Okay? And this one is completely torqued. Not hard, it's easy. You can do another part number there. AP catalytic converter. Like I said, you can get this from Rock Auto. But I got mine for 1-800 radiator. Alright. Later.